Hey everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing the helicopter cube. It was recently on sale, so I figured I'd check it out. Alright, and here it is. And one interesting thing is that this cube, I believe, was privately designed, so yeah, thumbs up for that. Oh wow, here it is. So, looks like a little bigger than a 3x3, so it turns along the edges. Oh, and as for shipping, it was a bit slow. It took about 12 days to get here. I think maybe about 9 days before it was shipped, and then 3 or so days to get here. So yeah, this will be very interesting to try out fully. Alright, so I must say I have enjoyed this puzzle. It was a really fun challenge. And unlike puzzles like the Megaminx, so that's a Holy Megaminx there, and like a skew puzzle, which is the golden cube here, it's an entirely different setup. And like what I mean like that is, compared to a normal 3x3, you've got edges and corners like you do on the Megaminx, and you can place those around with relatively the same moves. And the same goes with, like, on a skew puzzle. You can bring up a piece like this and push it out. So both the Megaminx and a Skewb use a relatively similar concept, but the helicopter cube is completely different. This one, you can only move around the inner center pieces by flipping this around. So a piece goes from there down to there. So it took quite a bit before I got used to all of the moves necessary to get, like, let's say this centerpiece over onto the other side. But of course, that just adds to the challenge and then the overall satisfaction when you solve it. Okay, so let's get into some of the basic moves of how this puzzle works. So it only turns along the edges, so it does not turn like a 2x2. If that were the case, oh, there would be so many moving parts and the puzzle would be much more unstable. And since this puzzle turns along its edges, that essentially means that it has like 12 sides, so that's like twice as many moves as like a normal cube. So this does take quite a bit to solve. Also, after I started solving it for a bit, I noticed that it actually can jumble, but it's kind of an interesting form of jumbling. See, I can jumble it only for a little bit, but then all of the pieces start catching on each other, and there's and there's really not a whole lot more I can do. So obviously this puzzle wasn't intended for jumbling. I think it just kind of naturally happened. Okay, now I'm gonna give it a good scramble so that you guys can get a really good feeling of how it turns and everything. It also has this neat little clicking mechanism. So, you know, nothing like extreme like in the V-Cube 6. Something kind of similar to the Golden Cube if you're familiar with that. So, and that helps to keep things stable. And this puzzle, you know, it does feel to like it can get a bit wobbly, but the clicking mechanism adds just that extra sturdiness. Now, coming up with the algorithms, it wasn't too bad. I don't know if that has something to do with the puzzle itself or if I just got lucky, but it seemed like it probably took me, I don't know, maybe a half hour to an hour to figure out one algorithm at a time, and then I was able to move on. And it seems to be a fairly efficient method, so I may make a tutorial some point in the future, but it does need a little bit of perfecting before I do that. And then that time came when I finally got it solved. Oh, it was so satisfying. Okay, now let's show you guys how this mechanism works. Now, actually, there are 12 centerpieces under it, and they're between all of the corners and centers here. So, there you go. Alright, so let's just start ripping this thing apart. Let's see. There we go. There we go, got it all disassembled. So this looks very interesting when it's all taken apart. Doesn't look like it came pre-lubricated, so you guys can take care of that yourself. And so here's the centerpieces. These little tops can come off, and it looks like it's adjustable. Though it would be a pain having to adjust all of these tensions and making sure to get them right. Okay, now to put the whole thing back together. Alright, well, that was a bit challenging putting it back together. Okay, now let's talk about the sticker quality. Now, I certainly don't solve this as much as a 3x3. It's certainly not meant to be a speed cube. I would say I give this relatively moderate use with maybe 1 or 2 solves a week, and I've had it for about a month and a half, and so that's not a whole lot of use, but the stickers seem to be doing pretty well nonetheless. Although, of course, it helps that these stickers are nice and large, so they have a lot more stickiness to keep them down. Oh, and if you're wondering about corner cutting, well, it's not really meant to corner cut, but I suppose it can, but really, if you click all of the edges, then it turns quite smoothly. So overall, do I recommend this cube? Definitely. It was a fun challenge to learn how, and the price seems to be fairly reasonable, so I would definitely give it a thumbs up. This cube is available at ztwist.webs.com, and it's currently $18 to $23. And I would highly recommend buying from that source, because there are cheapo knockoffs out there as well. Alright, so the remaining of the video is just gonna be me solving the cube, so if you're not interested in that, feel free to leave now. Okay, so I'm gonna get the white center first. Once more. Nice background audio. Come on. There we go, so it's all solved. Well, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you may also like to check out some of the other reviews I made below. Or if you even want to be notified of when videos like these are uploaded, then you can subscribe above. Thanks for watching!